So, here I am. I bought a school bus. And that's exactly how I feel right now. You know, there's a big yellow school bus in your front yard and you realize the choices that you made in life and you're questioning the choices that you made in life. And like, you just gotta roll with it. There's just no turning back now. You just gotta go with it. So now I know you're wondering, where exactly do you start working on a school bus if you're gonna turn it into a tiny home with a full-blown kitchen, a sleeping quarters, a shower with a bathroom, a bathroom with a shower, a place for guests to stay, having enough off-grid power to run your appliances, a full-blown fridge, lights, charging equipment, computers, AC, heater, a water heater, propane tank, be drivable without dying on the road, all while building it in your front yard. And I have no idea either. That's the whole point of buying a bus, is I don't know what I'm doing either. there's no right or wrong answer to it. You just got to say, okay, well, this kind of worked for some people and this is kind of how something worked for those other people, and how is it going to work for me, and what do I want? I don't know what's best either. That's the whole, I don't know what I'm doing here is what I'm trying to say, okay? But all I know is I'm gonna take you along for the ride, and we're gonna answer some questions, we're gonna not answer some other questions, and we're gonna have fun while we're doing it. And that's all that's gonna matter, is having fun. So now where I started was, I figured, let's at least finish the paint job on the bus. You know, there's this 30-foot bus in my driveway. It's half painted, half yellow, half gray. Okay, let's match it, make it somewhat not so noticeable. So the people I bought it from, they started with a, what was it? A cloudy gray? A stormy gray or something like that. Anyways, so I figured I'd finish doing their paint job. So I washed the bus with my nephews, who pretty much just played with the hose the whole time. Got everything else wet except for the school bus. And then I prepped the school bus for a paint job. Now, prepping a school bus sounds a lot easier than you think it does. You think, okay, maybe like an hour, 2 hours to prep for the paint job. No, it is not an hour, 2 hours. It was a solid day of taping off the windows, getting the newspapers, because it's not exactly like a car or a room or anything. It's a 30-foot school bus outside that you're gonna be spray painting this. So once I realized I was kind of in over my head, I ended up calling a buddy over, and we got it going. So after 7 hours of prep job, we finally are able to paint it now that the sun's going down, and pretty much we're just gonna rattle can this hoe. Ah, god damn it, son of a bitch. Face it the right way. I think that's looking pretty good. We eventually spray painted it, and I just did a black trim on the bottom to match the other side. Kind of brought it up towards the back, and then started with the gray. And it went pretty smoothly, I could say. You know, we had fun and stuff, and I think the camera died about partway through the time lapse, but you know, we still got the paint job done, is all that matters. So the whole bus was now gray. It's not yellow. It's not a big old yellow school bus in my front yard anymore. It's a gray school bus in the front yard. A lot of people have been saying, oh, it looks like a prison bus or Raider Nation. Yeah, big whip. But I'm not gonna keep the gray forever, I think. Eventually down the road, I think I want to do like a forest green, maybe even like a fire truck red. That might be cool. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Once I'm done cutting holes in the walls and finish putting the roof rack on, and towards the end, I'll sand it all down. And then once I'm done, do a nice finished paint job at the end. Bada boom, bada bing. It's gonna be a really cool school bus. After the paint job, oh, and I cut my hand at work. That's why I have this bandage on. It was a pretty good one. I ended up getting 6 stitches, and it's like right in the thumb right here, right in that juicy part, that part where you're just like, ugh, gives you the chills. Slice that right open. Yeah, so that's why it's here. But anyways, after spray painting it and getting inside, I figured, okay, let's just start with the insulation. We're gonna get everything down to the bare walls. That's where the previous owners were at. They were putting in the insulation and stuff. So I know with insulation, there's quite a few ways you can insulate your bus. You can go with the old school insulation, the one that's really itchy and scratchy, and if it gets wet, it gets all moldy and stuff. I didn't want to use that stuff, and so you use the hard foam and stuff, and that has a pretty decent R value, and it's a little thicker, and it's kind of pretty water resistant and stuff. It's not going to get too moldy, anything like that. The second one is there's the other like styrofoamy stuff. It's kind of not the best thing you want to use, but it's pretty cheap, and that's why a lot of people do use it. There's also the spray foam insulation you can use, which is a lot more expensive, but it's a lot more durable. You can get it wet, it's not going to go anywhere. It's once you spray it on, it's the most durable, but it is the most expensive. And there's one more that's recently that has come out. It's called the Havelock wool, and that stuff kicks ass. I recommend using that stuff out of everything except maybe the spray foam. The spray foam might top it, but the Havelock wool is definitely right up there. And I know you're thinking, okay, John, out of all those, which one did you use? Now, besides that crappy insulation stuff from the 80s, I used every other single one. Why? I don't know why, but I figured, why use one when you can use them all? Yeah, you know, like I said, don't know what I'm doing, but I think it's gonna work out the best. So now here's what I did on my insulation for the bus. Is on the walls, I lined it with the styrofoam insulation. So, you know, you just cut it out, chop it, break it, put it in there. And that was pretty fun too, using the styrofoam stuff. My nieces came down and they helped me out, but kind of same thing, they just made faces at the camera.
I can see you!
And just kind of not got in the way, but it was fun. They kind of helped chop it and cut it, and they wanted to use the razor blades, so I gave them the dual ones to practice with. And, and then I filled the cracks with the, what's it called? This stuff, some great stuff. Loctite fills gaps and cracks. And then we're gonna spray foam all the other gaps and cracks with the gaps and cracks stuff. And then we're gonna be warm and cozy in the winter and cool and nice in the summer. Cool. And I also used this big gap filler, great stuff. It was great stuff. And then I sprayed all the nicks and crannies and the cracks with that. Instructions. Read entire can label carefully. Shake well. Failure to allow directions can result in injury or death. There you go. Sick. Recommended usage temperature 60 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Optimal 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, you're supposed to do it upside down. Oh, shit. And away we go. Oh, you can't see it. Yeah, it's a little better than the other stuff. Oh, really sticky. Get in here, and there's nicks. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Just to fill all the nicks and crannies and get everything nice and tight and lined up. Nothing's gonna move around in there and less airflow in between all the cracks and stuff. Sticking out though, it's coming out. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't like it. Don't like it. And then I kind of checked the previous owners, what they did on the walls and stuff, and the styrofoam insulation that they used, and then I did find the one styrofoam that you shouldn't use on the wall. Okay, so look at this. This is already peeling off. Focus, focus. You can already see it peeling off just when I took away the boards where they had it. I don't know if this just wasn't the good or if it's just not sticking on this type of insulation. Either way, I don't really like this insulation, so I'm going to take it out because it's not as thick as the other guys. They're not as good as like R9 value, I think. Pretty sure, pretty positive. That's sucky. I don't know. Huh. Nice. So after peeling away everything, I've noticed that the people before me put this styrofoam insulation in, and my cousin up in Alaska, Clinton, shout out Clinton, he uses this stuff once he used this stuff once in a van build that he did up there, and he said that during the heat of the summer up in Alaska, so it didn't even get that hot, maybe 60, 70 degrees, you know, at most during the summer, he said that this stuff like melted inside and it just stunk up his van, and it just smelled like old, like burnt plastic, you know, styrofoam crap. So I'm actually gonna tear all this stuff out. Hey, so it's John from the future. I know, what? Time travel crazy? What? So I just want to clear up that my cousin used that installation, and what he said was during the winter when it became like below 0 degrees, super below freezing, that insulation would freeze, and then over time, you know, it kind of changed something when it was frozen, so that when summer came around and during like the heat of the sun, and they would get like 24 hours of sun up there, that insulation would just eventually melt. After it was frozen for so long, it would just melt, and then that's what created like this like just burnt smell throughout the van. And he just said it didn't work for him in the environment that he's at. I don't want to just like rag on that insulation super much, because I know a lot of people it works good for them. You know, I've watched a lot of other videos, done some other research where it's like people swear by it, like, no, it's good for them, but for what he did and the climate that he was at and the environment that he's in and using this stuff, that it doesn't work for him. And that's kind of why I was like, okay, maybe not. But he said like for the floor and everything, it should work. It's just where the sun was hitting against the walls and the ceiling is where it was at. But I did keep it on the floor, and he said it should be all right. And especially because I'm not going to be in Alaska during the whole 6 months of winter that they have. I'm praying to God that I'm not going to be up there, but I think in the end it'll be all right for what I'm doing and for where I'm going as well. So just want to give you a little heads up, you know, touch up on the information and stuff, or if you guys are thinking of going that route with that insulation. Okay, back to the video. Now what they did is they took the wood off of the floor, and then they added the cheap insulation on the bottom, and then ran some other really thin pieces of wood and screwed those into the floor the same level as the styrofoam, and then they put the old wood back on top to save money, which I would have done 100% too. I wouldn't have used that styrofoam insulation just because what my cousin warned me about hopefully it's gonna work out. Hopefully it's not gonna, you know, melt like his did, and it's not gonna stink up the bus, because that's really gonna suck, and I'm gonna have to tear everything out and then restart. But no, you know, fingers crossed, it's gonna work out. Hopefully, knock on wood. Son of a bitch! That hurt! Knocking on wood! So now, after the walls and the floor were done, we were left with the roof. This is where I went with the spray foam insulation. They have a kit for 200 square feet, around $400, maybe $500. It's supposed to cover 200 feet, which I think this school bus for the ceiling is around like 187 square foot. So I figure, okay, I'll have plenty of, a little bit of extra, and it's supposed to be 2-3 inches thickness wise. Now I didn't know if I didn't store it properly or if I didn't start it properly, but it was really thin. It was a lot more thin than I thought it was gonna be. And again, I'm not a pro at spraying it. I just did it myself because that's the cheaper way to do it. But I still recommend that, because the spray foam insulation, it just kind of gives it that little extra something on top other than just the metal to the roofing or even to the other insulation if you want to do that. It just gave it like a nice layer that I know is going to be really bulletproof, and it's just going to fill up any of the little screw holes or anything like that too. It's just going to stop it from the rain or anything getting inside of it. Drip check. Okay, so I got everything. I got everything. What do you call this? Taped off with a bunch of plastic everywhere. Yeah, have a bunch of plastic in there. That's gonna be up more. Whatever, it'll work. My plan is I'm gonna start in the back, on the backs, probably in the middle back, and then move towards the front. And then I figured hopefully by the time I get up here in the front, I'll be good enough so I won't really have to tape all this off. I feel like those are famous last words, you know, not taping off the front. And I should have just did the whole thing, but whatever, I'll figure it out. So it's gonna be fun. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. It's gonna be a blast.
This is a lot of fun. I recommend doing this for anyone. Not just because it's good insulation, but I'm actually having fun with it. If I feel like a gangster, like pop, 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 you know, they're gonna go pop, 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 you know, pretty quick. It's clogged. Okay, now I'm just making a mess as I'm trying too hard. I had to go and get a new nozzle because this one got clogged because I was talking to the camera. It's not spraying so well. So I brought an extra one just in case. But you gotta be quick with it because it will dry up pretty fast. So I definitely recommending having multiple caps with you because just any second you take, even to move the box, they just get so filled with other crap and you can't use them. You just constantly have to keep swapping them out. Okay, so froth pack, 10 out of 10 recommend. Super fun to do. Get more than what you think you're gonna use. It's gonna go by super quick. Practice. Have your have everything you need ready to go. Extra gloves. You're gonna need extra gloves on hand. Extra of the nozzles. Extra of these nozzles because they get super dried out. Even just to move the box to the other side of the bus, it was already drying out. They just clog up as you go too, so make sure get this thing out. So make sure you have extra ones of these on hand, ready to go, because they clog up super quick. This thing is dumb. Ugh. There we go. These clog up super quick. You need to get, like, just have them on hand, rotation. Extra gloves. These things get super sticky and your gloves just tear apart like this. And yeah, I'd say first coat, go on light because you can always add more later. Because if you go super thick, then you're just gonna run out super quick. So go light. Ow! Ow! Wear the proper attire and equipment. Get the suit, dude. Just get the full suit. 10 out of 10 recommend though. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it gets everywhere. Everywhere. It's everywhere. It's flipping everywhere. Taping it off? No. Do a 10-hour tape job first because it's all over the windows. But yeah, super fun though. I'm excited. I hope it all works out.
Now, if you choose to do the spray foam insulation stuff, and I cannot stress this enough, prep what you are going to be spraying. So what I did, not being a professional, let me say that again, just lined up the sides with the plastic and the back with the plastic, and then I kind of did a half-assed job in the front, thinking, okay, I'm gonna start in the back and I'm gonna spray everything, and then by the time I get to the front, I'm gonna be good at it to where I'm not gonna make a mess. And that was not the right decision to do, and I got it all over the place. It just went all over the place and went all like, oh, it's all over the windows, all over the dash. Holy heck. Oh, it's all over the tools and the window. Jeez, John. I'm gonna need another drink. Holy crap. I guess to see how this is gonna pan out. Oh, it's all over the
floor. There's like a lower light. There we go. Holy heck. Oh, it's all over that window too. Jeez, those ones are good though. Oh, it's all over the floor here. Look at that big old glob. Oh, that's not coming up. Sheesh. Oh, I still gotta get rid of that. Gloves. Oh.
But in my defense, the spray foam was dropping from the ceiling onto the plastic, and I kept stepping onto the spray foam, which stuck to my boot, which stuck to the plastic, and kept ripping the plastic off everything. Just take the time to do the prep job. You know, read the instructions, follow the instructions for that, and make sure to wear the right safety gear too. Get one of the hazmat suits. You're not gonna look stupid, trust me. What's gonna happen if you, like me, and you get these gloves and then you wear an old long sleeve t-shirt that's too short, and you get this inch gap in your arm right here, and you get the spray foam on that, yeah, you're just gonna be ripping out your hairs for a week. And I got it all over like my eyebrows and stuff. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like all over my face and the cracks and stuff where I missed. Yeah, it's a mess. It's pretty cool though.
So now after I sprayed the roof with the spray-on froth insulation, I realized it wasn't as thick as I wanted it to be. That's what she said. I realized I'm gonna need a little more insulation on the top, definitely, because this just isn't gonna cut it. Shout out Dogcat Man Van. He used the Havelock insulation, and I've heard quite a few things about it. I saw some videos on it and stuff, but it wasn't until he did it in his van that I really looked into it. And so this stuff, the Havelock wool insulation, this is the bread and butter, baby. It comes in a sheet about this big. You know, it's a good thickness to it. You know, it's a solid, I don't know, 2 inches, 2 inches. But this stuff you can touch, you can sleep on it. It's not gonna affect you, it's not gonna get all itchy. It's water resistant, so if it gets wet, it dries out. It's not gonna mold. It's fire resistant, so if you burn it, it should put itself out pretty quick. It's not just gonna light up and the whole thing's just gonna, you know, explode. It's a little pricey, but I mean, you get what you're paying for is what I'm trying to say. I definitely recommend this. You definitely get what you're paying for. It's not too bad. Now, it was a little tricky to work with in the beginning, you know, trying to figure out how to cut it. Because in the video, you're like, oh, just rip it off. You know, it rips easy. Yeah, it rips easy, but then your cuts aren't straight, and it's kind of weird. So we just got these giant scissors, and that were probably older than I was, so they're all loose and stuff. But we made it work. And once we started cutting it to the right size, it worked out phenomenally. Phenomenally. It worked out great, okay? It worked out great. I've seen videos, people, you know, they put it up there, they tape it, and then their tape holds. I don't know why my tape doesn't hold, because my tape is special. So I said, this is stupid. Get rid of the tape. We just got the spray glue, like spray on Gorilla Glue, Elmer's glue. We had like 3 different types of glue. They all work the same, not one special than the other. I think the 3M one was probably the best now that I'm thinking about it.
Elmer's extra strong spray adhesive. See if it works.
So we just said screw the tape. We sprayed on the glue on the ceiling and then just stuck up the insulation there. And then once we got about a full sheet's worth of plywood, then we stuck the ceiling on top. And I'll explain the ceiling probably in another video. But Van Lock wool, just spraying that on, sticking it on, screwing up the ceiling, the wood to hold it in place. That was so easy. That was just like go to, boom, 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 knock it out. And the Havelock wool, that's just the go-to. It's gonna keep you warm. The R value is great on it. And if you need it to be thicker, you can go 2 layers. If I didn't do the spray foam insulation, I probably would have done 2 layers. But since I had the spray foam on there already, I just did 1 layer. And it seemed pretty thick, seemed good enough. I mean, there's still some other walls and stuff. I know, like above the driver and the cab and stuff, there's some spots, and over by the bedroom too, the back wall. There's still quite a bit left to do, but I ordered 200 square feet worth, again, for the ceiling. I don't know if I stretched it out or if I just didn't use enough, but I still have a whole nother box left over. They gave me 2 boxes. I think each one was about 100 square foot, and it was more than enough. It was more than enough. Whereas, you know, the spray foam insulation is set about 200 feet, and I'd say it probably really was only about 3/4, maybe like 2/3 of what it actually was. But this Havelock wool, it was way more than what I initially thought. Havelock wool is like 10 out of 10 for me. But overall, I think insulation in the bus, didn't know what I was doing, never do, but I think I made it work. I used the 3 different types of insulation because why not? So I used the styrofoam insulation, used the spray foam insulation, used the Havelock wool. Styrofoam insulation, pretty self-explanatory. Cut it, pop it in there, you know, use a little spray foam stuff if you need to get all the nicks and crannies. Pretty simple. Spray foam insulation, it's expensive. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna get it right. I mean, you could pay for a professional to do it, but you're gonna be paying for it, and who has that money? You know, if you have that money, you're probably just gonna buy a bus that's already done. But it does probably work the best, which is why I give it the B rating. Like I said, you get what you pay for. Havelock wool, A++, plus 100%. But I do think that was the best option. Like I said, water resistant, fire resistant. There was one other resistant, and I think for what I did, I think it's gonna work out for the bus. Now, I'm not recommending what I did. Go out, do your own research, stick with what you're strongest at. But this is what I did. It's working out pretty well. But overall, I think it went pretty smoothly. It went pretty smoothly. But I guess we'll have to wait till it's done and go on my first couple adventures and see how it holds up. I think it's gonna be good. Hopefully it's gonna be good. I don't know. It's my first bus and I don't know what I'm doing, but that's all right. That's what YouTube's for, to teach you how to do it. You know what I did know is I had fun and I learned new things. And that's what this is all about. Having fun and learning new things along the way. So, I think it worked out. I think it worked out. Did you learn anything? Let me know if you learned anything. All right? I mean, I'm just explaining what I did. Like I said, I'm not a pro. Not trying to give you guys any advice. Just trying to give you some advice, I guess. That just contradicted what I just said. But I'm just trying to help you out. If you are trying to build a school bus, thinking about building a school bus, or if you're just here to watch me cut myself and do dumb things, because I don't do them on purpose, but they just happen. Or if you're gonna be like, John, I'm never gonna buy a bus or a van, you're crazy and you're out of your mind. Let me know that too. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. But thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe, and you know, hold out for the next video, and we'll see what we learned as we went along this amazing journey that I'm dragging you guys onto. Thanks for watching. That's all I gotta say. If you made it this far, thank you. So far I'm doing good.